All right, we're going to start the July 21st meeting. We'll have the invocation by Mr. Hart, pledge of allegiance by our esteemed lawyer, and a roll call by the city clerk. Please stand.
Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for your abundant grace and mercy. You've allowed us to come together to conduct the city's business. And we pray that you help us to come in a spirit of unity. Even though we may disagree on certain facts, let us not be disagreeable or disrespect or disengage from one another, but to continue to work together as brothers and sisters. We say a special prayer over the brave men and women of the United States Armed Forces who are serving all over the world. Continue to be a hedge of protection around each and every one of them and comfort their families as their loved ones fight for freedom, that you will watch over them. And once again, as always, a special prayer of our first responders. Keep them safe and keep them covered under your wings. So careful to give you the praise, the honor, and glory you do. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Commissioner Kennedy?
Here.
Commissioner Wilson?
Here.
Mayor Johnson?
Here.
Commissioner Furstner?
Here.
Commissioner Oliver?
Here.
Well, all right, we have no presentations or proclamations. We have any presentations? I don't see any. All right, staff report.
Nothing at this time.
All right. Public comments, I have two. We have 3 minutes. Mrs. Joanne Adam. Adamu.
Damo.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you, Mayor. Hi, my name's Joanna Damo, and I am here for questions about the West Orange Senior Center. We are a nonprofit organization that has been self-funded the whole entire time for over 30 years, and we contribute to the community. And is there any way possible that the city of Ocoee can work with the senior center to keep it open? Because at the end of this year, unless we get enough board members, that will be the end of the West Orange Senior Center. And it would be more, it's crucial for the community to have the senior centers. People have no place to go. They play cards, they do dominoes, we do chair exercise, and a lot of the seniors don't have their family that even come visit them. So this is their way of getting out into the community and being with other people. If not, there's going to be depression, loneliness, and everything. And we want to try to do anything we can do to keep the senior center open.
Can I ask you a question? You say fully funded, but y'all don't have to pay rent or anything, right? No
Not to the
rent,
best
no
of my
insurance?
knowledge. I have.
We clean it too?
Yes, you
Yes,
do.
ma'am. So what's the funding part you're talking about?
Well, we're fully funded, like what we do to the community. We donate to all organizations.
Yeah,
And what do we have to be funded for? We raise our own money by all the stuff that we do.
Well, I just wanted to make it clear that we don't have to, we give the building the use
Right.
and we pay the rent, pay the insurance and stuff. So whatever y'all do, y'all raise the funds to do what you do.
Exactly.
Can I ask you another question?
Yeah.
If you had a list of members, how many of the members live in Ocoee?
All of them, I would say.
I don't think so. I know one of the guys that was your vice president he lives in Orlando.
Rick lives in Orlando.
What he told me.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
I'm just saying, don't you have a list of people that come there?
Well, to be honest with you, I didn't even know they were having meetings, and I just personally found out myself that they have meetings, and I jumped in on that and found out, listen, this is what's happening, and this is what we need to do, and see if we can get 5 people on the board to make it so we can keep the senior center open for the people that are coming in wheelchairs, in walkers, and off the buses to come get air conditioning, friendship, and all that. Now, I don't know. I thought everybody that came to the place was
No,
from
ma'am.
Ocoee.
No, ma'am.
Can I say, it's the West
That
Orange,
is-
it's the West Orange seniors.
Right, the Tom
And
Eisen Center.
I'm just heard scuttlebutt in the community, so I'm not saying it's 100%. But what I understand is, what your issue is, what I heard, is you don't have board members that will take over. It's not so much what we do as a city, because the building is there, the program is there, it's just that you don't have board members who will initiate the, I guess, plan.
Crew,
And that's,
correct.
I think, that's something that is, my understanding is that it's a problem within the seniors, that there's no one that wants to take over. It's
We're
not
all-
what the
they're
city
all-
is doing.
They're all too old, they're on walkers, they're,
Well,
I mean,
it's not so much,
majority of them.
if I understand correctly, it's not what we're doing as a city.
Right.
It's
But-
what
Well,
the
we're
West
asking
Orange
for a
seniors
solution.
aren't no one's coming forward to run it. Is that what the problem is? And I guess it's an opportunity for us to get word out that if there's folks that would like to, take the initiative
We're
to
trying.
run it,
We're asking for anybody in the community to
because
come
it
in
does
and join
require work.
us.
I know that, I've known some other board members in the past, and it does take work. They plan a lot of trips, they plan
They do,
a lot of
plan
beneficial
on
things for the
trips. There
community, for the
is.
senior community.
You're
The problem
absolutely
is
right.
that you don't have the board
Right,
to start to, I guess, to run the program.
and this is
I
how
have
they
a
communicate.
suggestion for this request.
Okay,
So this is, as I understand it, this is the senior group that partners with the Ison Center. There's also Pat Gleason and the West Orange Chamber of Commerce and Healthy West Orange have a senior group. Why don't we give this to Craig and have him reach out to them and see if they can coordinate their groups together or something?
that sounds good.
Maybe, I mean, there's another group,
I
there's
know
another
Healthy
senior group
West
that Pat
Orange.
and the West, I don't know
Yeah.
how it's structured, but I know Pat's spoken to me many times about it and tried to get the city to support their group. And I've always said, well, we have a group at the Ison Center. Maybe there's somehow that they could provide you some board members or
We're
something.
just looking for solutions because everybody wants someplace to go. We don't want to
Absolutely.
sit in a house. We don't want our mothers or, like my best friend's mother's 93 years old and still goes.
Yeah, so staff can try to see if there's a way to help assist you to work out a relationship there.
Okay, well, I appreciate your time. and
We'll do
your help.
that, and I'll report back at the next commission meeting.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Just-
Thank
Appreciate it.
you.
To piggyback on that, you're absolutely right. Healthy West Orange does have a senior group that would possibly could take over the leadership and continue to help you with your agendas when it comes to the different things that you guys do. We should be able to get you in contact with Healthy West Orange. Yeah, they're pretty active as well. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Dr. Jim Moyer.
Good evening. My name's Dr. Jim Moyer. I'm the elected Orange Soil and Water Conservation District 2 Supervisor, and this presentation is mine and mine alone. The purpose of Soil and Water Conservation District, paraphrasing, the purpose of Soil and Water Conservation Districts is to work in conjunction with other governmental entities in implementing land and water resource protection practices by assisting, guiding, and educating the public. Not all of us can do great things, but we can do little things with great love. That's Mother Teresa. Show some love, change your habits, conserve water usage, clean water bodies. When millions conserve a little bit of water and prevent pollutants from going into our water bodies every day, there's a massive impact. Water is life and a quickly depleting limited resource. Water, a finite global natural resource, sustains all life, plant, animal, fish, human, and soil, which is alive. The Soil and Water Conservation District and all of us must protect Ocoee and Orange County land and water resources. As your Soil and Water Conservation District Supervisor, I am respectfully requesting that the City of Ocoee makes available office hours once a month for 2 hours for my one-on-one citizen assistance with soil and water resource matters of interest. With due respect. Thank you so much for your time, and God bless you all.
Thank you, Dr. Moyer. All right, that's all the public comments. We're going to go to Consent agenda.
I'll make the motion to approve.
Motion made by Commissioner
I
Wilson.
have a motion to pull item number 4.
Motion made to pull number 4. Do we hear a second?
I'll do it.
Second by Commissioner Kennedy. All right.
Then, should I make the motion to approve all but?
All right, do I need a second to go ahead and approve the rest of them except 4?
I'll second it.
Motion seconded by Commissioner Oliver. Let's vote for that. All right. Motion carries unanimously. Okay, Commissioner.
Item number 4 is a easement agreement with an investment group to create an easement for a 7-Eleven at the corner of Ocoee Vista Road, Parkway and Clark Road. I understand the purpose of the easement and why we need the easement, and it's not, the issue is not the easement for me. The issue is that looking at the site plan that was presented on last week to staff, that it did not have a traffic light at that corner. Again, we got a 4-lane highway there. I know it didn't pass last time because of, it didn't meet the criteria to pass. So here we are again with it this week, and my issue is public safety. Public safety is number one for me because you have a fire station there. There's 4 lanes of traffic coming out of that intersection with the possibility of another development that's going to be going back there at a later time. So now you got more traffic, and there is no way to get maneuver traffic out there safely. Everyone does not have the same reaction time when it comes to cars coming down that hill. We've already had crashes in the back of our emergency vehicles at that intersection without a light, without the 7-Eleven. So we're going to be bringing more traffic there. I would like to see the 2 deceleration lanes heading northbound, as well as a traffic light there on the site plan before I would actually want to support anything going there at that particular 7-Eleven going at that intersection.
Nick?
All right. Anybody else have any discussion on that?
Well, I have a question right here. It says on the, our synopsis of what's additionally, the developer has indicated the installation of a traffic signal at the intersection.
Is your,
of Clark
is your
Road.
microphone on?
I'm sorry. Bring my iPad over. There's 2 sentences in here that, again, additionally, the developer has indicated that installation of a traffic signal at the intersection of Clark Road and Ocoee Vista Parkway would be beneficial to the project. City staff and developer are collaboratively developing a mutual agreeable plan regarding the timing and construction of the traffic signal in conjunction with the proposed 7-Eleven development. Is that something that's new since, I don't think that was new since last meeting, am I correct?
No.
Okay, I
It's
just wanted
not.
to read that, because I know that's why I
The
looked for a line.
developers agreed to allow us to bring back a development agreement that memorializes all the details of the traffic management plan for commission consideration. And that's why our staff has repeatedly put this on, because it just allows access depending on whatever we end up doing with the portion that we own, of the property that we own that's adjacent. This preserves our right to access under it. So you still have the option to have a great discussion and review the data analysis and the staff's recommendations at a later time when they bring the development agreement back.
I want to make a statement on that, a comment before this goes on and we do this. I voted no on it the first time, but what I would ask is we think about it, the property before that 7-Eleven is our property. We make that a park, a natural park, not with all the equipment, just a natural park where you have benches. That way those neighborhoods out there could be into that, and we don't put another business there for traffic. We just have it as an open for the neighbors around there to be in that land there. We make it a park. That's something we can talk about, but we don't need to build another commercial building there, which blocks anyway when you coming down the road. Make it just a park in there with all the neighbors around there can go there. So that's just something we can look at doing in that area and making sure they got the red light or flashing light.
I have a couple comments and a question. I'll start with a question for developmental services. The discussion of whether there's one or two deceleration lanes there, in order to design that, regardless, this easement exists in a contract, does it not?
That is correct.
And so if we, and maybe that's a city attorney question, we'll park that. But if we don't grant this easement, we're breaching our contract agreement. But secondarily, you cannot design alternative site plan scenarios for one or two deceleration lanes until you know you have the easement. Is that correct?
So to answer your first question, this is more about having a shared access. They have right to an access on Clark Road.
Right.
We just wanted a shared access so that way it could provide access to our property. So by right, they have access to there. Where it's located, that's where it would kind of change the site plan. The first deceleration lane at Ocoee Vista Parkway has been designed, and the intersection there is accommodating for a signal itself. We just don't have the signal engineering done, which we have to do as part of the development agreement. The second deceleration lane, which came up just recently, is on our property. We still need our city staff to help with that design since it's on our property to put that in. So that just hasn't been done yet, but still part of the discussions with the developer on part of the final development agreement that would go in. Right now, it's really just in discussion of they need
And that's
this shared
coming
access.
to us.
That would have to come to you
Period.
regardless.
Okay,
yes.
so the train isn't leaving the station. We're just fulfilling our obligation under a contract we've already agreed to grant them shared access. Is that correct?
To grant them a access, we're
A
just
access.
looking for a shared access.
Even better.
Yes.
So we don't have to discuss the ramifications unless you want to.
Right, I was just going to say that when they acquired the property, that they were granted the right to access Clark Road. That's all, it said direct access to Clark Road.
Okay.
This is putting that access at the shared parts of the city would also have a cross-access easement onto their property, if we're going to have a park, or whatever it's going to end up on the city property.
Perfect. The second point is, I don't know, Commissioner may want to clarify, but I don't know that we know why this item was defeated last time. The mayor just voted no and didn't explain it. So I don't know whether he agrees with you
I
or
didn't have
not.
to explain it.
I know you don't. I'm just saying, he said why this was defeated, and I said, I don't know that I know why it was
Well,
defeated.
it wasn't defeated, it just didn't pass.
Didn't
Correct.
pass. We-
Well, he said it, not
It was
me.
a tie vote, okay.
I said it.
And the third thing is, we can discuss the park, obviously. I understand that residents there are complaining on Facebook and saying we want to preserve green spaces.
Yeah.
But I personally can't think of a place, if I was a parent and had a young child, that I would least want to put them to play than that intersection, especially since the city and the commissioner for that district are talking about how horribly dangerous it is. So I would not be in support of a park there, but we can certainly discuss
Which
it.
intersection you talking about?
You're talking about the green space.
I know that. I said.
80
I didn't
Mims
say
and
that. I
Clark.
said which interest.
I mean, that
You talking about
city
where the
property,
firehouse
I'm
is
talking
at?
about what you said, the city
You talking about
property.
where the firehouse is at?
Yeah.
That ain't where I'm talking about putting the park.
You're talking about our city property.
The back, the other side of
I
it.
understand.
So they come from the neighborhood where they live.
I don't agree with that.
I know, well, we got a lot of things we don't agree on. All right.
Well, I do just one last comment regarding this. This is an excellent opportunity for us to reflect on how we develop in the city. When we actually have these things coming before us, and we're taking bits and pieces and chunks of information, and as it comes closer to fruition or to development, then we come up with all these different questions as to why this didn't happen, or why that didn't happen, or what neighbors did not like it. But if we actually had a smart development plan beforehand, and when this property was purchased, and had a plan as to, okay, what are you going to do with this property? Here's the things you can do with it, but here's the things we're going to need before you actually submit your site plans. So if that was the case, and we were able to come up with smart developments like that, we wouldn't be having this discussion. that the deceleration lanes will already be there, along with the easement as well as the traffic light. So maybe we can look in the future when we start looking at developments, let's start asking tough questions ahead of time to say, hey, how do we develop this the way we need it developed before we get to an issue where folks are unhappy or put them in situations where they're possibly unsafe. That's all my comments.
Do we all remember that there was a charter school that came in at one time that wanted to build there? And that got defeated, and if I'm correct, and maybe Mr. Oliver can tell me this, that I know you had a meeting with folks, that the biggest concern there was the traffic light? Am I right? I mean,
That was the biggest. that was
I
one
hear
of the biggest
scuttlebutt, I'm just saying, I don't go
Well,
to
yeah,
social
it was
media.
a safety aspect, that was the biggest concern, the traffic
Traffic
and,
light.
the 7-Eleven drawing all that traffic there and folks trying to get in and out and trying to make a left turn, trying to negotiate across 3 lanes to make a left turn, because that development, we're gonna give this easement, then that development, they're gonna start the vertical build. And they're gonna start vertical build out, and it's a strong possibility that it will be fully operational before the light gets there. It's a
That's
possibility.
incorrect, I believe, Commissioner. That's not a fact, and
Why
I
would
don't believe
vertical
that they
build?
can start building because they get the easement. If that's true, then we need staff to clarify it, because my vote is based on an assumption, well, not an assumption, a statement from staff that the train isn't leaving the station and this is coming back to the
Right.
commission.
We still need a developer's agreement to come back to the city for the signal itself. Now, it is a small-scale site plan,
So it
they
doesn't
can-
have to come back to
They continue
us.
to move forward, but we do need a developer agreement on the signal, which they also have agreed to put in there. So this will be coming back to the city.
So, I'm sorry, let's
Yeah.
just keep this like a golden retriever. If we grant this easement, can they start vertical development?
They can start some site work, but we have not granted any permits for any vertical development.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. Commissioner, you want to make the motion? You pulled it.
I'm not making any motions.
Somebody needs to make a motion on it.
I'll make a motion, excuse me, I'm sorry. I'll make a motion to approve the access easement agreement.
All right, motion made by Commissioner Forster,
I'll second.
seconded by Commissioner Kennedy. You could have made a motion not to do it.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
I know.
All right, I got you. All right, any more comments on it?
Okay, so this is, we're making the motion to approve, that was
Yes.
Mr. Firstner's.
I will say that, I had somebody ask me about the park, so I said we'll suggest it. Everybody has a right to vote every way you want to do it when we come to it.
Well, we all have thoughts.
Huh?
We all have thoughts.
That's right.
Yep.
All right, let's vote. Motion carries with 4 votes, and Commissioner Oliver voted no. All right. Did we approve the rest of them? We did, didn't we?
Yes.
Goody goody.
Let's go to 20.
Huh?
Yes. Consent.
We're gonna go down to number 20. First reading of ordinances. First reading of ordinance for fiscal year 2025-26 budget amendment, Finance Director Weber. We don't, you gonna read the
I'll go ahead and read
Right.
it. Yes. An ordinance of the City of Ocoee, Orange County, Florida, relating to the city budget, amending the city budget adopted by ordinance 2025-20 and amended by ordinance 2026-07 for the fiscal year beginning October 1st, 2025, and ending September 30th, 2026, by providing for increase of appropriations, providing for severability, providing an effective date.
All right, this will be brought back for a public hearing on August the 4th. And you can have a public hearing and vote. All right, number 21, first reading of ordinance, amending Chapter 7 of the City Code, Enforcement of Code. Please, Chief Harvin, you get to read.
An ordinance of the City of Ocoee amending Chapter 7 of the City Code, reorganizing provisions of the chapter, simplifying language and deleting anachronistic provisions in the chapter for clarity, deleting language purporting to limit the role of the special magistrate to code enforcement under Chapter 162, Florida statutes, defining terms, setting forth the terms of the special magistrate and appointment of a special magistrate pro tem, establishing code enforcement procedures, establishing hearing procedures and standards, setting forth the powers of the special magistrate and code enforcement board, increasing administrative fines to those allowed for municipalities with 50,000 or more residents, establishing fines for the costs of repairs made and corrective action taken by the city, establishing liens for unpaid code enforcement fines upon recording of orders, assessing fines, establishing procedures for authorizing foreclosure on non-homestead properties with unpaid code enforcement fines, establishing procedures for applying for and considering lien reductions and releases, satisfactions and settlements, providing for notice to affected parties, allowing for enforcement by other provisions, providing for appeals, establishing a code enforcement recovery fund, providing for conflicts, codification, severability, and an effective date.
All right, this will be the same thing, come back on August the 4th for the second reading, and we had an open public hearing. All right, second reading of ordinance, public hearing. Number 22, second reading of an ordinance to establish procedure rules to challenge candidates to the city commission under sections C10 and section C11 of the city charter.
Mayor, I think this is mine.
Okay,
All right, this arises out of amendments to the city charter in March of 2024. The language of section C10 of the charter now reads, "The city commission shall be the judge of the qualifications and eligibility of candidates for the city commission, the election and qualifications of its members, and the grounds for forfeiture of their office under this charter." Section C10 further authorizes the city commission to establish procedural rules for implementing this section and ensuring due process, including reasonable notice to affected parties. Then working hand in hand with C10 is section C11, and you'll recall that establishes a one-year residency requirement to run for the city commission and requires candidates to furnish such proof of meeting the one-year residency requirement as may be prescribed by ordinance, and candidates also consent to a background check to verify the candidate's qualifications to hold office. C11 further states that no candidate shall be barred from running for office without notice, a hearing, and clear and convincing evidence that the candidate is not qualified to hold office. So there has been discussion over time about what this board does versus what the city clerk does. Now, the city clerk's role in accepting qualifying papers is ministerial in nature. She does not look at the papers and determine their accuracy. She looks to make sure that they appear to be complete, that they've been timely filed. So it's a facial type of assessment of what she receives as the city clerk. The judge of the qualifications is everyone sitting up here, all of you as members of the city commission. Challenges to candidates, you would think would be the exception and not the rule. And so in coming up with procedural rules, we thought it would be appropriate that the slate of candidates would ordinarily be approved on the consent agenda, subject to removal pursuant to your rules and procedures. And then the city commission would determine, based on reasonable cause, whether a quasi-judicial evidentiary hearing is necessary or appropriate to be scheduled to be able to make the determination as to such candidate or to restore the candidate to the list of candidates on the consent agenda. So if there's a majority finding of reasonable cause, then that evidentiary hearing gets scheduled before the city commission. The evidentiary hearing would be scheduled either under the procedures for emergency hearings, or the candidate may request time to obtain legal counsel, to prepare a defense, but the language states that, but no later than the next regularly scheduled city commission meeting, or 30 days, whichever is later, but within such time as required to meet Orange County Supervisor of Elections deadlines. And that can often steer when things need to get done. The clear and convincing evidence standard that comes from Florida law. And then if any aggrieved party at the end of the evidentiary hearing could appeal to the circuit court via a petition for writ of certiorari based on the record of the proceeding before all of you. And then we have language in here that the city's procedures are in addition to any judicial process and remedies under law, so we're not taking away anyone's rights under the Florida statutes to proceed as they would be so authorized to do.
all right. This is public hearing, okay. I'm gonna open it to the public. You have an ordinance to read?
There is an ordinance to read.
Read that first.
Will do. An ordinance of the City of Ocoee, Florida, amending Chapter 5, Section 3 of the City Code to establish procedural rules implementing Section C10 of the City Charter, under which the City Commission shall judge whether the requirements for candidates for the City Commission have been met, providing for potential objections, establishing procedures for an evidentiary hearing to ensure due process, including notice to affected parties, providing for appeals, providing that no person shall be barred from running for office absent clear and convincing evidence in accordance with Section C11 of the City Charter, providing for forfeiture of office proceedings, providing that the procedures established herein are in addition to any provided under state law, providing for conflicts, severability, and codification, and providing for an effective date.
All right, we'll go open the public hearing. Anybody in the public have any comments on item 22? No comments? I'll close it and bring it up to the dais. No comments, we need a motion.
I'll make the motion to approve.
Motion made by Commissioner Wilson. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Commissioner Kennedy. All right, let's vote. Motion, we do it over?
Nope, we got it now.
Oh, motion carries unanimously. All right, item number 23, second reading of an ordinance establishing an emergency medical services division and emergency medical services enterprise fund and approval of a resolution adopted rates, charges, and fees for EMS services and transport. Fire Chief Smothers.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. Back on the May 19th commission meeting, we did a presentation on EMS Enterprise Fund and EMS Division, and it was the direction of the commission for us to come back with a ordinance to establish said Enterprise Fund and Division. So that's where we're at tonight. This was the second reading of the ordinance. And just to give you a little brief recap on what we discussed back then was, why are we going to do the change? And some of the things we mentioned was the growth in the EMS demand, protecting the fire operations and improve funding transparency. The proposal indicated dedicating a separate EMS division, a separate EMS enterprise fund, an EMS revenue fund, and to maintain our service levels as we currently, actually, we're going to improve our service levels should we move forward with this. And we also discussed what the outcomes would be of being able to have 4 engines, a tower, and 2 ALS ambulance services running as our main roster, daily roster. And that will in turn provide some long-term stability in our staffing. We also discussed some of the revenues and the cost of separating the EMS funds. Due to with our estimates that we're projecting for next year, it looks like we should bring in just over $3.7 million in revenue. And that is a combination of transportation costs as well as state and federal refunds that we get as well to make up some of the difference that we don't get from some of the paid or from some of the government-run insurances. Our cost, we figure, is going to be around $2.6 million. So looking at it right now, it gives us just over $1 million of cushion. That is maybe kind of thin. It only takes the revenue or the cost to fluctuate, or a combination of them, and that gets even thinner, but it is something that is doable. What it does also is it helps us to be able to shift about $1.2 to $1.4 million of the EMS expenses that we currently have in our budget away from general fund, from the fire department budget there. So, and it reduces the future fire department budget needs from general funds. And then one of the big things is it improves transparency by aligning EMS revenues with the EMS expenditures. And as I mentioned a moment ago, with this, the staffing, as we currently are, if we were to continue the way we're going, we'll only have 3 engines, one tower, and 2 ambulances. And those ambulances are split by firefighter paramedics right now, which does not meet the ISO 1 requirements. And it also does not meet the recommendations that were left with us by the accreditation representatives the last time we were evaluated. So moving forward with this proposal, if it should be approved, we'll be able to have, like I said, the 4 engines, the tower, 2 ALS ambulances, which these ambulances, by the way, would have dual paramedics on their ambulances. Single cert, they would not be firefighters, it would be a paramedic onlys. Where our current setup, you may have a firefighter and an EMT that's on there. So, and what I just said, it dedicates the PMOs for transport. And we're here tonight just seeking the commission's approval to move forward with the approval of the ordinance to establish the EMS fund and EMS division, and that would be included in the EMS enterprise fund would be included in the 26-27 budget process. And the results would provide a stronger fire protection force, enhanced EMS, sustainability, and transparent funding. And I thank you very much.
All right. Have you read?
Yes, I need to read. Sorry, I need to read an ordinance and also the resolution that adopts the EMS rates. I'll start with the ordinance. An ordinance of the City of Ocoee, Florida, amending Chapter 78, Fire Prevention and Emergency Medical Response of the City of Ocoee Code of Ordinances by renaming Chapter 78, Fire Prevention, and creating a new Chapter 79 entitled Emergency Medical Services Division, establishing an Emergency Medical Services Enterprise Fund, providing for the administration, operation, accounting, budgeting, billing, collection, and use of revenues related to emergency medical services, ambulance transportation, treatment, and related services, authorizing the City Commission to adopt rates, fees, charges, billing policies, and cost recovery policies by resolution, authorizing participation in federal, state, and intergovernmental EMS reimbursement and supplemental payment programs, prevailing in the event of any inconsistency, providing for implementation, codification, severability, and an effective date. Now, the resolution to adopt EMS rates. A resolution of the City of Ocoee, Florida, adopting a schedule of rates, charges, and fees for emergency medical response and transport services provided by the city, providing for annual adjustment in accordance with the CPI, providing for severability, providing an effective date.
All right. We're going to open the public hearing for anybody in the public who wants to make any comments. All right. We'll close that and bring it up. You have to read.
I did it.
Separate the motions for the.
Yeah, it'll be an ordinance first and the resolution.
Okay. All right, we have to have separate. First, we need a motion. Anybody have any comments on that before we?
I just wanted to ask, do you know, are you aware of what the paramedic labor pool looks like in Central Florida right now?
Well, we have been doing a little scouting around, but should everything go through tonight, we'll be scouting. We've already talked to some of the schools that have graduation coming up here in the next month or so, and we'll start hitting them hard.
So there's plenty of people out there?
Yes, sir.
Good.
Good question.
Anybody else? All right, let's we need a motion for
The ordinance.
ordinance for establishing an emergency medical division. Disperse fund.
I'll make the motion to approve the EMS Division Enterprise Fund ordinance.
All right,
I'll second it.
seconded by Commissioner Kennedy. No more talk, let's vote. Motion carries unanimously. All right, now we need a motion for the approval of a resolution adopting rates, charges, and fees for EMS services and transport. Anybody want to make comments?
I'll make that motion to adopt the resolution for EMS rates.
All right, motion made by Commissioner First. Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Commissioner Oliver. No more comments? Vote. All right, down to number 24.
Thank you.
Second reading of ordinance for the text amendment to the Land Development Code, creating section 4-13 to establish regulations and procedures for certified recovery residents. Administrator McFarland.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. Bear with me while I pull up my PowerPoint. All right, so the issue before you tonight is whether you should approve the proposed text amendment that's amending Article 4 of the Ocoee Land Development Code to create Section 4-13, which establishes regulations, procedures for certified recovery residences, including a process for requesting reasonable accommodation as required by Chapter 2025-182 Florida statutes. So the reason that this item is being brought before you is the state legislator in 2025 signed into law SB 954. The purpose of SB 954 was to require that local governments provide some kind of process for certified recovery residences to seek accommodation from existing municipal codes and land use regulations. And that's things like zoning district restrictions, distance requirements from adjacent uses. Now, I just want to state that currently the city does not have any certified recovery residences in our city that we can identify, and nor do we have any ordinances regulating certified recovery residences currently, other than they are required to obtain a local business tax receipt as any business operating within the city of Ocoee. Now, certified recovery residences are defined as a residential dwelling unit, the community housing component of a licensed day or night treatment facility with community housing or other form of group housing which is offered or advertised through any means, including oral, written, electronic, or printed means by any person or entity as a residence that provides a peer-supported, alcohol-free, and drug-free living environment. As I stated, we currently have no certified recovery residences within the city. They are required to register with the state, and to staff's knowledge, there are none that are registered with the state that are in the city's boundaries. This is really, before I go on to the recommendations, this is really an ordinance that's being brought before you to comply with state statute. SB 954 requires that municipalities adopt a process, and so that is what staff is bringing before you tonight. So with that in mind, the Planning and Zoning Commission considered this item at its June 9th, 2026 meeting and recommended approval with a 5-0 vote. With that in mind, staff recommends that the Honorable Mayor and City Commissioners approve the proposed text amendment, amending Article 4 of the Ocoee Land Development Code to create Sections 4-13 to establish regulations and procedures for certified recovery residences, including a process for requesting reasonable accommodation as required by Chapter 2025-182 Florida statutes.
Thank you, sir.
Uh,
Be happy to answer any questions.
I'll go ahead and read.
I'll let him read the,
An ordinance of the City of Ocoee, Florida, amending Article 4 of the Ocoee Land Development Code to create Section 4-13 to establish regulations and procedures for certified recovery residences, including a process for requesting reasonable accommodation as required by Chapter 2025-182 laws of Florida, providing for definitions, providing for a reasonable accommodation process in accordance with federal and state law, providing for application requirements, review procedures and deadlines, providing for revocation and reinstatement, providing for severability, providing for codification, and providing for an effective date.
all right, this pertains to coming back in 2 weeks for the public meeting with the second reading.
This is
No,
the
this-
second.
Oh,
this-
it
this
is
is
the second reading.
reading.
I don't- We're getting lost. Okay.
Just,
All right.
we'll need to open
We
the
still
public.
need
hearing.
Is the terms licensed, is that the,
Still gotta open it for public hearing.
if a
Still
facility
gotta open
is,
it for public hearing. Does anybody in the public
Okay.
have any comments on item 24? If not, I'm bringing it back to Dice. Anybody have any comments?
is the term licensed? I mean, if a organization or a group, church, whatever, has a facility, if it's not licensed and we don't know about it, is there a term? 'Cause I mean, I wonder if there are any facilities in Ocoee that are not, that might be run by a church or an organization that are a treatment or say, maybe a drug or alcohol facility, but if the term is licensed, is that the difference?
Well, there is a distinction in Florida law between a recovery residence and something like a program that a church or another organization could host. This is specifically speaking about recovery residences, which are licensed through the Florida Department of Children and Families, I believe. And in checking their registry, there are none that are located within the city. If there are some that are located in the city that are operating without a license, they would be in violation of Florida law. If that.
Yeah, I may misspeak, and you may need to correct my terminology. We dealt with this, we dealt with group homes or family adult group home ordinance a couple years ago. And as I recall, we put in a rule, and I'm gonna misspeak, but we had like 1,000-foot rule or 5,000-foot rule or some kind of rule. As I read this ordinance, there isn't a component like that. Do you know, or does the city attorney know, if we can include the same type of restriction on these residences we do the group homes?
We would have to amend existing ordinance in order to do that. These certified recovery residences are considered separate from the group homes, which the city does regulate via ordinance. And I believe it's also Ocoee. It's either a Florida administrative code or state law that requires them to meet certain distance requirements. Staff could bring in an amendment to code restricting them in the same way. At this time, though, we are simply complying with state law. If an applicant wanted to come in and apply through a local business tax, and they believed that part of our code as it exists today was unreasonable, that they needed to seek an accommodation for, that would be the process that they would go through under this ordinance. It doesn't restrict our ability to enact ordinances at a later time regulating these types of facilities.
Correct. This just gives them the option of having an application of saying, well, we would like an accommodation to waive that 1,000-foot distance if we had that in our ordinance. But currently we don't. It's only for community residential homes that we have that 1,000-foot ordinance. So
I'd like to add that by some method. I don't know how everybody else feels.
Well, you could bring a motion to amend the ordinance to add that in here.
I mean, to
you know,
me,
and-
I understand there's some differences, but to me, they're a similar vehicle, and the ordinances should parallel each other in terms of the requirements. I always thought that was a good requirement. We looked
Yeah,
at it a few times.
of course, with a community group home, our local ordinance parrots the distance that is found in state law, whereas this state law does not have that ordinance. That doesn't have the distance requirement to it, so that would be the difference. But
I would be willing to make a motion to approve this conditioned upon staff bringing back an amendment with the similar restrictions to the group homes. But
with 1,000 foot, for clarification.
I think it's 1,000, I mean, whatever it is, it's 1,000, 5,000, 7,000. But we've sat on P and Z before, you've done it with the circle and looked to see if there's another one within. And I would subject it to a similar process, no different.
All right. You made a motion. Do I hear a second? Then we'll discuss it if you want to discuss.
No, I just wanted to make a comment.
I need a
So,
second.
I'll second it.
Motion made by Commissioner Kennedy, seconded by Commissioner Wilson. You got comments?
yes, just a quick comment. So, if we were to adopt an ordinance for this type of facility, they can only be, if they have to be beyond 1,000 foot from each other. Is that what we're talking about? Same thing we do with group homes. So
Right.
I agree with that.
All right. Any more comments? Any more comments? Did we vote on the?
Vote on well, he put it all together. So
Okay.
he's,
all right.
so he's,
Okay. Let's vote. Motion carries unanimously. Can you
Yeah.
take care of that addition?
Absolutely. We'll bring that back to the commission.
All right, thank you. All right, item number 25, second reading of the ordinance for the 5068 Adair Street. Torres Aguilar, Salcedo property, annexation and rezoning from Orange County A1 to City of Ocoee R1, project number AX 03, 26-01, and rezoning 26-0301. Plan of resort, can I ask you a question? Is this the one with the horse farm on it?
No, sir.
Okay, that's good. All right, go ahead.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Tonight I'll be presenting the Torres Aguilar and Sausalito property annexation rezoning for their property located at 5068 Adair Street. For issues is whether or not the Honorable Mayor and City Commission should approve the proposed annexation and rezoning of the property from Orange County to the City of Ocoee and from Orange County A1 to City of Ocoee R1. For background, the property is located west of Adair Street. It's approximately 750 feet south of the Carcona-Ocoee Road and Adair Street intersection. It's roughly 0.38 acres in size and is eligible for annexation as it is adjacent to other city properties, eligible for city water services, and reduces the amount of enclaves. It is also consistent with the JPA future land use map, which is low-density residential. Here we have the aerial of the property. This is a little bit outdated. Just know that the lot is currently vacant. This is the surrounding zoning map showing that R1 zoning district surrounding the area. And this is the future land use map, again, showing that low-density residential designation. So recommendations for both the Development Review Committee and the Planning and Zoning Commission at their respective meetings, they made a unanimous recommendation of approval for an annexation rezoning. And similarly, staff is also making a recommendation to approve the proposed annexation rezoning from Orange County A1 to City of Ocoee R1 for the property located at 5068 Adair Street.
Yeah, vote separate.
And that concludes my presentation. The applicant is not here, but I am welcome here to answer any of your questions.
All right. Yes, that's right. All right, I'll read the annexation ordinance first, and then I'll read the rezoning. First, an ordinance of the City of Ocoee, Florida, annexing into the corporate limits of the City of Ocoee, Florida, certain real property containing approximately 0.38 acres located at 5068 Adair Street, located west of Adair Street, approximately 750 feet south of the intersection of Carcona-Ocoee Road and Adair Street, pursuant to the application submitted by the property owner, finding said annexation be consistent with the Envision 2045 Ocoee Comprehensive Plan, the Ocoee City Code, and the Joint Planning Area Agreement, providing for and authorizing the update of the official city maps, providing direction to the city clerk, providing for severability, prevailing in the event of any inconsistency, and providing for an effective date. And then the rezoning ordinance, an ordinance of the City of Ocoee, Florida, changing the zoning classification from Orange County A1 Citrus Rural District to City of Ocoee R1 Single Family Dwelling District on certain real property containing approximately 0.38 acres located at 5068 Adair Street, located west of Adair Street, approximately 750 feet south of the intersection of Carcona-Ocoee Road and Adair Street, pursuant to the application submitted by the property owner, finding such zoning to be consistent with the Envision 2045 Ocoee Comprehensive Plan, providing for and authorizing the revision of the official city zoning map prevailing in the event of any inconsistency, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date.
All right, does anybody up here have any comments on this one?
Just, this is District 1. I looked at it and I support it.
All right, do we hear anybody else? Well, we need to separate the, are you waving at me?
We just need to open the public hearing.
I can't hear.
Open the public hearing.
Public
Open
hearing.
the public
Okay,
Open.
I'm back to the public here. Anybody have any comments?
From the public.
Done? All right, bring it back. I need a motion I need a motion for the annexation.
I'll make a motion to approve the annexation of 5068 Adair Street, Torres Aguilar property.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Motion made by Commissioner Kennedy, seconded by Commissioner Wilson. No more comments, let's vote. All right, we need a motion now for the rezoning.
I'll make a second motion to approve the rezoning from Orange County A1 to City of Ocoee R1 at 5068 Adair Street.
Motion made by Commissioner Kennedy, do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Commissioner Wilson. No more talk, let's vote. All right, motion carries unanimously. Down to public hearing, none. Regular agenda, none. Mayor's announcements. July events, Cookies and Milk with a Cop, happening on July the 24th at the West Oaks Library from 10:30 to 11:30. Children can enjoy story time with the Ocoee Police Department. Registration is required. Visit ocoee.org for more information. August events, budget workshops will take place on Wednesday, August the 5th, and if needed, Wednesday, August the 19th. Workshops are open to the public and will be held at 6 p.m. in the Commission chambers. The Florida League of Cities Annual Conference will be held at the Diplomat in Hollywood, Florida from August 13th through the 15th. Each year, cities are asked to appoint a voting delegate for the annual business session at the Florida League of Cities Annual Conference. The deadline to appoint a delegate is July the 31st. Consensus is needed for designation. Are you still on the board?
No, I've termed out.
How would you like to do that?
I was gonna mention you might like to do it.
I've done it for the last 3
I have no,
years.
I think we're the only two going, correct?
Huh?
We're the
Yeah.
only two going. Yeah, I have no problem.
You can, okay. I make a motion that, oh, I can't do that. So who wants to make a motion to give it to Commissioner?
What do you want to do?
I'm gonna be the voting delegate.
I'll make that
Make a
motion.
motion by Commissioner Oliver motions that we, give this business to Commissioner Wilson. Do I hear a second? Seconded by Commissioner Kennedy. Any more comments? Let's vote.
I was hoping you were gonna do it.
Carries unanimous, I know. All right. Now, Commissioner Oliver.
All right, we have elections coming up throughout Orange County. Primaries are August 18th. We passed the date to register, that was yesterday at midnight. And early voting starts Monday, August the 3rd, and it ends Sunday, August 16th. The polling places will open at 9 a.m., they will close at 7 p.m., and we have a early voting precinct will be here at the West Oaks Library. So exercise your right to vote, it is your right. That's all I got.
All right. Anybody, that's it?
That's it.
Commissioner Persner.
We are in hurricane season, so please be ever vigilant of the weather out there. Watch the news, watch the weather, make sure that you're tracking these storms as they appear. Check your houses out, check your supplies. You don't want to get caught unaware and be surprised by a storm coming. We've had them come across the state and affect us in the last few years. So there's no telling what we're going to be facing, so just be aware of that and be ready.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Wilson.
Yes, I'm not a social media person, but a lot of folks show me what's on social media. And I want to stress the importance of the budget workshops that are coming up, that there seems to be a lot of comments about how we spend money, and we as, I think it's generally how commissions spend money and how we budget, and I think it's a great time. If you have questions, you should come to the meeting. Come and listen. This is your opportunity, and when we do the budget workshops and when we have the hearings, read the budget, it goes online. It's not online yet, but it will be online. You can see how the money is spent, how your tax dollars are spent, because I don't think everyone understands that what it costs to run a fire department, run a police department, mow the grasses in the park, run code enforcement. I mean, out there digging ditches, people knee-deep in when utilities has a problem. This all costs money, and I don't think folks really understand what it does. So I can't stress enough that we welcome you. Please come, be a voice. And that starts on August the 5th. So that's it.
Okay. Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Kennedy.
That was well said.
It was?
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
I saw one of those comments, and it said that commissioners should give all the bribe money they receive from developers to the fire fee or something. I'll make that pledge. Yeah,
I've never seen
exactly.
that one.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think that's a great point. We all have the right to vote. We all have the right to complain. We all have the right to disagree. But it would be okay if you were informed a little bit before you did it. And a great way to do it, as Rosemary said, is to to go online. The city's done a wonderful job. The finance department has done a wonderful job with putting the budget online digitally. Years ago, that wasn't true. I remember years ago, I used to come and borrow the mayor's budget book and sit and read it because there was only the one big 4-inch 3-ring binder. But now it's online. Everybody can read it. Everybody can see where the money's going. Everybody can read the audit and the audit report. And everybody can come to the budget workshop and hear what's going on. And then everybody can participate and have their voice heard. I think that's an excellent suggestion. That's it.
All right, Craig, I want to ask about the semi-trucks going through the residential neighborhoods. I thought we had a thing where they wasn't supposed to be doing that. This is getting to be a bad habit for the semi-trailers going down through the local residential neighborhoods.
If you will get with me, I will see to it that we beef up enforcement in those areas.
We need to put some signs up through those neighborhoods where they'll know it. The other thing is, I got a call about a neighbor's tree cutting in his yard for trimming and doing down the street on Russell Drive. They came by and said they were going to do the trimming, but when they come back to do the trimming, they did more than what they said they were going to do, cut off big parts of the man's trees. So can we make sure that they put it on paper and give it to them what they're going to do, and whoever's in charge of that department, make sure they tell them exactly what to cut and not cut. Send them out there and they're just going to start trimming. So I know I got a couple calls on that from up on Russell, so we can kind of get a control where they go there and make sure.
Yes, sir. We'll be sitting with Public Works tomorrow and talking about that. I've had a few haircuts that went like that in the past where I was like, take just a little off, and next thing I know, it looks like this.
Well, they don't have to worry about taking a little off mine. I don't have much out there, so. Yeah. All right. August the 4th, next meeting. Everybody have a good evening. Mr.